Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Superpower Broadcasting. My name is Kevin Castley, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about how, when we look at the mainstream media, we see an overarching theme, and people often talk about how, oh, well, it's all fake news or whatever. No, it's a matter of perspective, and for all intents and purposes right now, we can talk about how you can classify the mainstream media in America in particular according to two metrics, basically. What is an outlet stance on Donald Trump, the all-taker-in-chief, and what is an outlet stance on war? And of course, this being American-led intervention, American-led war. So, well, let's start with Fox. Fox has changed a lot over the years. They used to be the network of, if you disagreed with the Iraq Liberation Campaign, you were a communist hippie traitor on a college campus and you were cringe. That used to be their message, right? But now that Trump is the all-taker-in-chief, now it's all, Trump good, war bad, that kind of stuff. And so we can really just go through them very quickly on this one. So when we're talking about right now, today, what's the mainstream media, the major three outlets, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, what's their position with respect to both metrics? Well, let's look at Fox. And yes, this is an overgeneralization, but I mean, you can see for yourself when you turn on these networks, right? So what's Fox? What's their view? Well, war bad, Trump good. That's basically what it can amount to. Tucker Carlson doing the dog whistles and stuff about how they do the wars, get the white males to do wars for them, in Israel, that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, they're Trump good, war bad. That's their motto these days. What's the motto of CNN? Trump meh, war bad. That's basically their model. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean they have some very sort of anti-Trump people over there who they just oppose Trump because he's Trump. But then because they're CNN, they'll bring on a bunch of, Trump administration officials to lie to their face and gaslight them. And then they'll call it even, basically. And they won't really have too much of a fact-checking sort of department going on. Now, some of the individual anchors, they'll do some fact-checking and stuff. But, I mean, you can see it all the time. They always just continually invite people like Kellyanne Conway and others, Stephen Miller, all these other people. And they just go and gaslight everybody. And then they get to lie. And then they get to come back and do it all over again. And then, of course, you have some anchors over there that are really anti-Trump. But at the end of the day, CNN's stance is Trump meh. But then they all agree, but intervention is bad. Intervention is bad, whether they're the Trump tards that they bring on, or they're the anchors that are against Trump. They all agree at the end of the day, well, war is bad. You can't be a warmonger or whatever. And then what's MSNBC's stance? MSNBC stance: Trump bad. They're all anti-Trump, and then war bad. They're all anti-war. And at the end of the day, we can look at this and see that the mainstream media in America, well, they disagree on Trump and they disagree on things like taxes and they disagree on things like social issues. When it comes to intervention, they're all in agreement and they're all dead wrong. They all see it as, America has no business intervening in the world, whether it's for Fox sake, where they see it as, well, we don't want to send my white males to go and die for the tribe, that sort of aspect. Or if it's CNN, where they say, well, Trump's bad, basically, but we don't really have too much of an opinion, and we'll bring on those people that work for him to come and gaslight us, and they'll talk about how I mean, think about it this way. Fareed Zakaria and these guys are over there, and they've been called hawkish by others before. And even they're like, at this point, saying how, well, well, we can't do war. We can't do war. We need to seek diplomatic outcomes for situations like North Korea and Iran. Because North Korea wants to negotiate in good faith. Wow, that's cringe. And then, of course, MSNBC. Well, we can go back to the Iraq Liberation Campaign, for example. They were opposed to it, and they're opposed to any intervention now. So at least they're consistent, right? At least they're consistent. They're consistently cringe. They're the anti-war network. They're basically democracy now with more funding, basically. That's what they are. And as I call them, hypocrisy now, right? No, it's a joke. They don't believe in spreading democracy around the world. They don't believe in the Western duty to uphold the dignity of our fellow humankind throughout the world. They don't believe that people born in North Korea have the same dignity as people born in North Dakota. They believe, yeah, we should condemn them to 10 million years of dictatorship. Sure, let's go for it. No, it's sad. It's pathetic. But there is good news because, I mentioned those 3 mainstream media outlets. And I said, well, they disagree on Trump. Their motto is all, they differ on that about Trump. But when it comes to the war aspect, they're all anti-war. Well, there is good news because I'm out here and I'm superpower broadcasting. And what's my motto? If we want to simplify it, my motto, Trump bad, war good. So if you want a different perspective, if you want to see things from a moral universalistic perspective, if you want to see things and get a take from somebody who's not in the patty cakes agreement in the Washington Circle, oh, the Democrats are anti-war and then the Republicans are anti-war and they all agree. And sure, they disagree on abortion and stuff, but at the end of the day, they all believe that America has no business saving anybody in the world. NATO has no business, even some of them agree, existing, right? I mean, Dana Rohrabacher, he's a Republican. You got people like AOC. You got people like Bernie Sanders. Just the Squad L, as I call them, because they're a bunch of losers. Comrade Omar, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, all these people. Ro Khanna. I mean, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican these days, if you're in Washington, you're like, yeah, we're bad. It's a disgrace. There's a consensus across the board now that, intervention has no place. And the actual honest pro-interventionists, such as Joe Biden, they have to keep quiet and they have to shy away from their record of championing the liberation of enslaved peoples around the world. It's pathetic. But we do have superpower broadcasting. So if you value a different perspective, even if you don't agree with me, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe because I am offering a different take here that comes from a point of conviction, that comes from a point of actual values that would be the same. I'd be making the same talking points if Trump were nobody or if he were president, whereas I can't say the same about a lot of these networks like MSNBC and CNN. They would change their mind overnight if Mike Pence all of a sudden became president. Let's just say that Trump stepped down. For whatever reason, he's no longer the president anymore. He steps down and then Mike Pence takes over. And then all of a sudden we get leaks. Mike Pence is talking about, what do we see? He's talking to Vladimir Putin, Vlad the Thug. And what does he say? He says, hey, look, I know you got along well with that last guy, but here's the thing. I'm a different kind of guy, and you're not going to get away with the same shenanigans you got away with before. So you're on notice, and you better watch yourself, bud. Imagine he said that to Vlad, and the transcript leaked. Immediately, CNN, MSNBC, all these people, what would they do? Well, they'd be talking about how, he's going to start World War III. He's going to get us into World War III. Because here's the thing, MSNBC, they may have this pretense of being kind of hawkish on some things now because Trump's so isolationist. No, it's all fake. And the second the establishment Republican Party comes back, the second the neocons come back and regain power, they're immediately going to talk about war bad. Like right now, they don't really talk about it too much, even though it's clear that that's what they believe. They might criticize Trump's moves on Syria. They're only doing it because it's Trump. They actually agree with all of this. They're all anti-interventionists, all of them, 100%. All the all the actual interventionists are basically out at this point. And that's why it's funny when people talk about, how my meme page, it must be a satire liberal hawks. I'm like, what liberal hawks? I mean, there's the Hawk Gang on YouTube. There's Tony Blair, there's George Bush. None of us have any political power anymore, Like we're not the ones running the countries. We're not the ones running the West. The West is run and governed right now by whether it's, the isolationist right in some countries, such as America, or the isolationist left in others, It's weak. It's really weak. And like I said, obviously war isn't a good thing. War is a necessary evil, though. And I'm just talking about from the perspective of war initiated by Western powers. That's why I say war good. Obviously, I'm against Russia bombing Idlib. I'm against Russia doing anything that undermines our interests. They're my enemy. Of course, I'm going to oppose them on everything that they do. I want to weaken them. I'm against them to the core. I don't play devil's advocacy. I don't do false equivalences. I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, well, America did a war in 1953, and so therefore Russia gets to do a war today. No, I don't do that, because whether America did something in 1953 or not doesn't change the fact that Russia's my enemy today. So I'm going to oppose them at every corner. So if you want genuine perspective that differs from the era of cringe, you should, like this video, subscribe to Superpower Broadcasting, because you'll get a much different perspective than if you say, oh, well, I watch Fox, but then I also watch MSNBC so that I can have a different point of view. It's like, you'll get a different point of view on taxes. You're going to get the exact same point of view on intervention if you do that. They both agree intervention bad. Well, I'm out here saying intervention good. So thank you for watching, YouTube.